What's going on, Steve? It's been a while.
What's going on, James, brother? It's good to see you, my man.
Yeah, definitely, bro. And for the viewers, man, I know obviously you just left the UK, so where are you now?
So I'm in Batumi, Georgia, brother. Got here about a month ago, like 3 weeks ago.
Nice.
hmm
How's the remote life obviously treating you now?
Mate, it's good, brother. Get to do whatever I want, whenever I want. If I want to
Yeah,
spend the day in the sun by the beach, I can do that. Just go for lunch whenever I want,
yeah.
work whenever I want, and it's good, man. It's relaxing.
Love
No
that, man.
complete freedom, like a lot of people have never experienced or understand. And now I'm living the life that we spoke about nearly a year ago, right? Less than that actually. And dreams have come true, man. I get to do whatever I want.
Good, man. You deserve it, bro. You put the work in. But before obviously this, you was working hard. Like, let everyone know what you was what life looked like before, getting into high ticket remote sales.
Yeah, life was busy, right? So I worked as a chef for, I mean, altogether about 5 years of my life. And towards the end, I was doing 80, 90 hours a week altogether. And that was without traveling. So I was traveling to the Cotswolds from Worcester every day. So for people who don't know how far that is, it's about 55 minutes in the car there, 55 minutes in the car back. So it was busy 6 days a week. And obviously during all of that, I was training to obviously get to this position here as well. So
Yeah.
it was stressful, mate, to be fair.
No, of course, man. But like you said, like we obviously made a game plan, like, and I knew you was working, obviously the amount of hours that you was working, and I just said, like, I'm not. It's not going to be easy to do this, right? You're in a 9 to 5, but really it's more like, an 8 to 8. You're doing like 10, 12 hour days. But we made a game plan. We stuck to it, and you executed on it at the end of the day. So for you personally, like, what's the biggest difference from like maybe being a chef and now actually being in high ticket sales? Like, what's been the most rewarding thing that you've been able to achieve?
Yeah, it's a good question, man. I'd say the freedom is the biggest thing, right? Because I've always wanted to be able to live life on my own terms, right? And when you work as a chef, especially because I was a head chef, so I was managing lots of people, a big team, and obviously managing the business. It was a hotel, so there's a whole different element to chefing for anybody who doesn't know that. And for me now, it's the freedom of not just my movement, but the freedom of the mindset. I'm probably more
Yeah.
relaxed than I've ever been in my whole life. Lots of people have even said that to me. Instead, they're like, they're asking me if I'm okay because they think something's wrong. Actually, it's the opposite. I'm just chilling, mate. And that's exactly what I wanted to do. I've always been like this when I was younger. So we're talking like before you get into the rat race and you've been at college and you're doing your own thing. Now, I've always been that kind of happy-go-lucky, relaxed guy, just positive. But then most of my 20s, it was just work, 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 non-stop. I looked ill, to be fair. Like even now, like much fresher, skin's
Yeah.
clearer. I'm much more enjoyable to be around. My relationships are better with my parents. My friendships are even better. So everything just became better from the freedom. And for me, that was the
Mm.
most important thing because the relationships will always suffer when you're putting too much work in because you can't put the work into the relationships that you need to as well. So yeah, it's been good, man. Especially being in Georgia here. It's a very relaxed place, nice
Love that.
people, food's good.
Yeah, love it, man. Well, like, I know you did a bit of sales before you came into RSA. But what was your like maybe opinion of high ticket remote sales before you even, maybe spoke obviously to myself? Because yeah, I know obviously you've seen other guys in RSA that are crushing it, but what was your like perceived perception of like about high ticket sales in general? Like,
Because I've always had quite an open mind. I've always kind of believed what I saw, and especially knowing a few people within the community and actually having tangible proof. I always thought it's possible, but I always you have that kind of a little bit of skepticism, but only because of your work. You think you got to go to work and trade your time for money. You know, but
yeah,
but now it showed me that it's not that at all. You can choose your hours. You can do whatever you want to
yeah,
do, and it's great. And it's five, 6 times more money. 5, 6 times the amount that you're making per hour if you really worked it out on an hourly rate anyway. So
yeah. No, definitely, because a lot of people out there, they're maybe never done sales before. I know that you did a bit of sales before as well, but like, what did you think to the training when you came in and we started obviously working with you? And, did you feel like what we were teaching you, was it a completely new language compared to like the traditional sales, what most people obviously go into, like, I don't know, car sales, real estate, insurance?
Massively, mate. It's you kind of opened my eyes really to the fact that it's all really to do with your own mindset and being able to actually understand the prospect. Because being present with each prospect will allow you to actually understand where they are and where they need to go. And I wouldn't have understood that unless I'd obviously gone through with the training with you. Because I remember when we first started, it was very much like, we have scripts are great and all that, but really it's understanding how to position yourself on a call to actually help the other person. And when that kind of penny dropped for me, I remember it was a little bit, maybe 3 weeks into the training, and it just started to work, didn't it? And I really started to get it. And
Yeah.
and I remember that one moment I was like, shit, this is okay, this is possible, right? And then since then, it's just been up, 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 mate. And it keeps getting better. And in all fairness, I'm only just getting started when you think about it. So, I'm excited to see exactly where it's
Yeah.
going to go, brother.
It's gonna be a big year for you for sure. It's already been obviously big, which we'll share the numbers obviously soon. But yeah, um, your experience then, you came in, you understood that it wasn't like traditional sales that we were teaching, right? A lot of people out there, they'll give you the training, and you'll obviously go out into this big high ticket space, and you'll go knocking doors, as they say, messaging people to try and find an offer. We obviously wanted to make that whole experience a lot smoother for people like yourself who are putting all that time and effort into the training, but instead of you going to look for an offer, we actually bring those offers to you. So like, what was that experience like for, finishing the training? Me and you had a conversation, and the team were like, "Yeah, you're ready to go. Everything's on point. Objection handling is on point. Let's obviously start applying for some offers." Like, what was that experience like for you?
You know what? The amount of offers that are available out there, and especially within your community, it was not just a pleasant experience. It was a pretty easy experience, to be fair, because you'd given me the tools. Do you know what I mean? To be able to actually get these offers. So when it came to creating the Loom videos and your online CV in so many ways, and being
Yeah,
able to position myself as who I am to make sure that I can get these offers. And, I had 3, 4 offers within the first week, maybe. No, like because it moves fast in remote sales, right?
yeah,
But it was pleasant experience. There's some crazy offers in there as well. I had one at first, didn't I? And I made some good money in the first offer. But then now with the offer that I'm on now, that came from RSA. Um,
yeah,
Ended up finding his Instagram. I basically his Instagram was on there, right? So obviously, that's how I applied. He brought me
yeah.
in on that first offer, but unfortunately, that guy's offer was ill. Swaggy Steve's offer, he became really unwell. So it was good. I was still making money, but then the customer support wasn't quite there. Um,
I think it's just froze,
oh,
bro.
sorry about that. Yeah, so the customer support wasn't quite there to be able to. Yeah, bad. Hang on,
All
my
good,
keys.
bro.
Oh
All
God, here we
good.
go. Yeah, yeah, it's all right. Yeah, and then after working with the Swaggy Seas,
Yeah,
one the same sales manager because he's managing multiple offers, got me onto what I'm on now with Renee's offer, and
yeah, yeah.
this offer's crazy, mate. Top sales, and I have been since I've came onto the offer, absolutely smoking everyone else, and yeah, mate, it's been
What's
yes.
again, like obviously, not even been, I think it's been like 9, 10 months since you got into RSA and high ticket. What's been your best month so far then in like US dollars?
So $12,200 been my best month so far, and yeah, it's had that wire. I had that wire recently while I was on a call. Probably one of the best
Yeah,
notifications I've ever had. If you have a look down at your phone, oh, what's this? Wise.
yeah,
You think if it doesn't feel real, because even working that many hours in chefing, I would have had to work 2 months, right? 2 months in a really high paid executive chef role, working 80 hours a week, 78 hours a week just to get that. And this was 3 weeks. This was 3 weeks of work really, because I missed, the first kind of week because I was just taking time for myself. So
Yeah.
3 weeks of work, $12,200 is wild. And you know, th- we we're looking at 15 a 20K month in March. Like I think I mean, that's the bare minimum in terms of my own goals. But then also with the guy who runs my Alpha, Renee, he said like 28K is the best that he's seen from what we're doing. And he said, I reckon we can do more than that. That's what he said to me anyway. But for
Mate,
me, obviously,
100%, bro. 100%. It's building momentum. It's like once you learn the skill, and this is what I want the viewers to understand, right? Once you learn the skill, you have to have the leads there to be able to, like, the rubber meets the road. You know what I mean? You can do all the objection handling, you can do everything right, but until you're actually on a call with someone and you have that care and authority, you have that conviction, and you're there to serve someone, right? That's when the real work starts. And to be honest with you, what I see is most closers will, have a 10K month, 15K month, right? And they'll think that they've arrived and they'll kind of like hit a brick wall. And this is what I was obviously speaking to you about. And what I love about you is like you have that student mindset. You keep learning, you keep training, you keep wanting to better yourself so that you can get to these 20, 30K months because they are possible. Like they're so possible.
yeah. And it's wild. I mean, obviously I'm 31, right? My sales manager is 22 and he does around 35, 40K every single month. And now he's making a load of money from me now as well, right? Because
Yeah.
obviously on the commission on and how it works. So
Yeah.
this is just the start. And I know as this team grows, I've already had the conversation, with Renee. I already know that I'm going to have my own team, so I'm going to be earning from other people in my team. In fact, I've already got somebody coming in now who
Nice.
isn't directly under me just yet, but he's already said, yeah, obviously he's going to be managed by me eventually because obviously, I'm the one who's leading by the front, putting in the work.
Yeah.
And don't get me wrong. I mean, I'm still grafting, like, but that's
Yeah.
because we're still early in this journey. And like you said, the student mindset, I never ever want to lose that. And I think that's how I've always managed to sort of be successful in other endeavors. But here, when you apply that student mindset, you keep trying to learn, you keep working hard, 30K months, it seems to me now, for someone who always thought that was like, I thought 10K a month was like the tip of the iceberg, right, when I first started. But actually, when I did my first 10K month, I was like, this is quite little.
Yeah, obviously, again, like you say, your sales manager is obviously doing really well. You're going to have your own team, less than 12 months, you're crushing it, and they're giving you that responsibility to kind of like pay that forward, give obviously the rookies some support so that they can grow into, a better position and earn more, which helps you earn more and the business, which is a blessing. It's the compound effect of sales. But what would you say, Steve, to someone who's maybe on the fence there? Unsure, is high ticket sales going to even work for them, which is just their own limiting beliefs, which is completely fine. But what would you say to someone who's like, do you know what, I want to give it a go, but I'm unsure. And yeah, what would you say to that person?
I'd say commit and take the leap because, like you mentioned there, the limiting beliefs that you have for yourself are the only things stopping you from getting where you want to get to. It's nothing else. There are thousands and thousands of people making minimum 10K a month in this industry. And there are so many more offers, and this space is growing. And any sort of doubt that you have is coming directly from yourself, or is coming from maybe something which you had when you brought up when you were younger. When maybe, for example, your parents told you, you told me this, right? Your parents had told you that, we don't have enough money, and that sticks with you, right? And if you've never had money, if you come from a background where your parents didn't have a lot, or even if you're middle class, whatever it is, it's very, very possible. And I am living, breathing proof. And there are so many people in my community and your community who are doing the exact same thing. So I'd say commit and believe in yourself, and you will do it. 100%. It's statistically impossible to fail if you put the work in and you believe in yourself. And that's the most important thing.
Nah, 100%, bro. Absolutely love that, man. And yeah, it is at the end of the day, like we have like a three-step process here, which in my opinion just works. Get trained, get interview ready, get hired, get paid, keep sharpening your skills, earn more money, right? It sounds simple, but you have got to put the work in, you know? But look, man, love this. Good to catch up. Next stage is going to be podcast in whether I'm where you are or in Bali, which is going to be incredible. And we can just go a lot deeper on a few more things that I feel like we should touch base with as well, man. But we'll leave that on a cliffhanger for everyone else. And yeah, I'll speak to you soon, brother.
Absolute pleasure, my man. Thank you again, James, man.